Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Highlight Taken podcast. Everybody's everywhere right now. I can't tell. I mean, we have some person at Planet Fitness, one person who's going to a Little Caesars. I'm still in Tallahassee, Florida. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves as well?
Yeah, I'm Christian Smith, pulling out of a Little Caesars.
Nick at you guys. I'm finally able to walk, so I'm getting some cardio in. I'm at Planet Fitness. Gotta get some cardio in so I can enjoy some delicious beer while our favorite team is playing in Monday Night Football.
You know, you're at Planet Fitness. He's at Planet Fitness, pizza in his mouth, and I'm just in my bedroom. So,
and I'm
all
just
right.
David.
Yeah, I'm just Ken. But so we had some games played over the weekend. So Nick, you're the one who knows about all that. So how'd that go down?
Yeah, I will say Miami of Ohio really the bed for me. Not too happy about that. I thought they were going to win that one. Unfortunately, App State pulled it out. App State was the better team, obviously. But, you know, I had faith in Miami. But coming in first place with 7 was Christian.
I mean,
Pretty
good.
Who else? I mean, right?
All right, not a time to boast when you only got 2 or 3 last week.
Did you remember that one time where he like did awful in college picking? That one time where he picked Ohio State to win?
Dude, that was a crazy week. Didn't he picked another crazy one?
He picked Washington State.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear it from you. But there was a tie to David and I with 5. So what does it come down to? Comes down to the tiebreaker.
I always get the tiebreaker right. The mayonnaise.
Hey, you know what? If it comes down to the tiebreaker and I win, I don't know what to tell you. I normally win every tiebreaker, so I don't know what to tell you.
Win every tiebreaker, but Guy can't win anything else.
Now, there's some controversy behind it because Trevor Lawrence apparently was playing with concussion. But David, you said the Ravens would win 34-30. I said the Jags would win 30-28. Final score, I believe, was 21-7, if I'm not mistaken, or 24-7. I can't remember off the top of my head.
23-7.
Yeah. So I'm at Planet Fitness, so I'm not really like, oops. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here.
Yeah, you're gonna chug that the equipment cleaner. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just chug this tiny water that I got.
All right, and I guess while he's doing that, Christian, did you get your college selection ready for us?
Yeah, boys, I do. I have breaking news. I've decided to exit the transfer portal and stay at University of Florida. I can't leave. I got to stay loyal. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Looking around at a bunch of other schools. There are a bunch of nicer, prettier schools, but just locked in with Florida, man. I just got to stay there.
You know, and I appreciate the loyalty here. You may think this is a surprise, but I think the Vegas odds had you staying with Florida the entire time. Not 100% sure about that. I didn't look at the odds beforehand.
Nah, I think you might be right, though.
Yeah, I was really surprised, man. I really thought that you would have been at Michigan. You know, I thought that's where you were going to be heading.
I thought Tulane would have been a surprise pick there.
Yeah, I thought maybe he'd been riding.
As the top choice.
You know, I thought he really may have been riding that green wave. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the right pick. You're staying home, staying true. You know, why not finish out your career in a great college in Gainesville?
Finish up his life.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, guys, there's a lot of good football games yesterday. Let's start with the Sunday Night Football game. I went to the game last night. Jags handed that game to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They looked great marching down the field. Just couldn't do anything that's like they couldn't finish. You know, like I said it before, that drive all the way down to the 2-yard line to go into halftime. And why you don't spike that ball, I don't know. You at least set yourself up to throw one play together to, if it's not there, you just throw it out of bounds, you kick a field goal, you know? But instead, you decide to stay on the field, run a play. It was a stupid play. And like I said, come to find out, Lawrence supposedly, had a concussion before the game. Apparently, he wasn't allowed to talk to anyone before the game. They just threw him in there, which probably is the reason why he made that bonehead call. That's not what you do as a professional. I see it in college, but I don't see that in NFL. You never see something like that. So I mean, kudos to the Ravens. They got it done, but I just feel like the Jags outplayed them. I really do. I just feel like the Jags outplayed them.
I mean, yeah, you just look to that second quarter there. You have 4 straight possessions, the first and second quarter. You have 4 straight possessions, missed field goal, fumble in the Baltimore territory, and then the fourth one in a row where you at least have another field goal there if you spike the ball and try to go for a touchdown and don't get it. I mean, you left 12 points on the board there as opposed to being up 12-10 going into halftime. You're down 10-0. Double digits to a really good Ravens team. You just can't make those mistakes over and over and over again. It's like the Eagles versus the Cowboys last week. It was the exact same situation.
Yep, exactly. You're dominating. I was watching it the whole time, guys, and they're showing time of possession, yards, everything. Jaguars were killing it. They were dominating all the way, and they just did stupid things. So it is what it is. Christian, you want to add anything?
No, I mean, yeah, it always comes down to, the small little mistakes. You can be dominating, time of possession, yardage, pass yards play, everything like that. But you can't get the small things down, like you said, Nick. Yeah, they should have spiked that ball, down there very, very late in the fourth or the second quarter. Yeah, you got to be able to clock that ball there, give yourself another play, set up for a field goal. At worst case scenario, help yourself out there because you're going into halftime scoreless without that, and that's not something that you want. And yeah, I mean, the other 2 missed field goals, that's rough. Like David said, that's a lot of points you're leaving up on the board. You just can't have it. You're not going to win a game like that, And like David elaborated, so yeah, it's kind of like the Eagles game last week with Dallas, they just shot themselves in the foot more or less. Ravens didn't necessarily win that game as much as the Jaguars lost that game.
Yeah.
And the worst,
absolutely.
And the worst part about it is, 2 of the games that we had this past weekend, Colts win, Texans win. So now you're sitting yourselves up with a 3-way tie for first place in that AFC South.
Yeah,
it's tough, man.
Because I don't think any of us saw that coming early. Now, I will say, though, all of us did say if they let Minshew play the whole year, they could find themselves in a playoff spot.
We did. We all said that because he's a game manager.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that defense has played well enough. They have a good rushing attack, and he doesn't need to go out there and throw up 400 yards a game. I mean, he would put up like 215, but he had 3 touchdowns against a good Steelers defense, may I add. So it's not like he plays the game like he's supposed to. We saw it in Philadelphia. Yeah, he was 0-2 last year, sure, but he played a really good Cowboys team and was foot and foot with that team. And that came down to just a really bad fumble by Quez at the end of the game there. And then also, the bad game against the Saints. I mean, that's a little bit different. But I mean, he plays well when he's getting the opportunity.
See, I agree with you, but here's the problem, right? So let's talk about it right now. You lost Zach Moss. I don't know if he's coming back. I mean, he got hurt. But let's talk about the most brutal hit I think I've ever experienced in watching any football. And that Pittman hit, that was the dirtiest hit I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It bent his spine backwards. There was no reason for him to do that. And now Pittman apparently only got a concussion. I don't know if you guys saw that in slow-mo. I mean, it looked like his spine, like neck, was dislocated. Like, it was gross. But they might be without both of them. That's going to be tough. That's why if I'm going to choose one, you're going to have the Texans coming back. Nico Collins is going to be healthier, and Stroud will be coming back. So I feel like the Texans, if anything, are going to get that spot or be more of a contender than the Jags, or for the Jags than the Colts would be.
Yeah, I truly think at the end of the day, Jags are getting it. I mean, now, granted, it's going to be tough next week because they may be without Lawrence. We're not 100% sure whether or not he'll make out concussion protocol. But they play a good Buccaneers team. Then they play a bad Panthers team. They end with the Titans team, who is a really hit or miss right now. Houston ends with the Browns, Titans, and the Colts, being that last game. And Colts end with the Falcons, Raiders, and Texans. So really the Jaguars' schedule looks like it's a little bit easier than the rest of them. It's just going to be that Buccaneers game, whether or not you're starting Beathard or you're starting Lawrence when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun and interesting to watch. I guess the team to beat now is the Ravens in the AFC. it looks like they're the most complete team, and they didn't scare me at all last night. The only thing I will say is, man, Lamar is elusive and hard to get down for a sack. I saw so many opportunities that he should have been down, but he just was too agile and was getting out of sacks. So, he tried to you got to try to make him throw the ball and extend plays, because I think that is how you can ruin him and beat him. So I saw it too many times last night. But anyway, another game. I don't know. You guys want to save that game for last?
Christian, before that, Christian, you want to give your takes on what do you think this AFC South is going to end up like?
Yeah, that's a tough one to be 100% honest with you. Does either of you guys have the final 3 remaining games for those players in front of you or those teams in front of you?
Houston.
I
Houston
just said
plays
it.
Yeah.
Houston
Yeah.
has Cleveland, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. The Colts have Atlanta, Las Vegas, and the Texans, and then the Jags have Buccaneers, Panthers, Titans.
Yeah, I feel like the Jags probably the easiest route to it, but I will say, dude, you know what, dude? I'll be honest, man. I think the Colts win it. I think the Colts come through and win that division. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I think Jags are gonna drop another one next week to the Bucks. What? Jags are gonna drop another one next week to the Bucks, in my opinion. Beat the Panthers, obviously. I feel like, well, maybe not obviously. Falcons just dropped the game to them. But, I beat the Panthers there. I don't know, man. I feel like the Colts can really get that shit done. They're rolling right now, dude. I can't even lie. They're hot.
Yeah, I mean, what other games you were in talked about, Nick?
About the Browns, man.
Oh, I mean, okay, so I guess I'll start. If you're a Chicago fan, you got to be sick. I mean, right now you have 3 games where you're up double digits in the fourth quarter and you lose. I mean, that's the difference between being right now 5-9 and being 8-6 and having the 6th seed in the playoffs. And it really comes down to what's the issue here, and it's just that run game. And they've had Justin Fields. Justin Fields threw the ball 40 times. You are not going to win the game by making Justin Fields throw the ball 40 times. I mean, think about this. The fourth quarter starts off with the Bears deciding to go for it on 4th and 1 to Cleveland 33. Instead of a 50-yard field goal, they try to go for it on 4th and 1. Now, keep in mind, what play do they run? Do they run a QB sneak? Do they run the ball after just getting a 7-yard rush to play before? They go for a pass play on 4th and 1, get sacked. So now you give them back the ball. You're down 10. And then for the rest of the time, when they have the lead, they run 7 run plays and get 19 yards. However, one of them was a QB scramble that went for 9 yards. So you really only ran the ball 6 times for 10 yards, and you're not getting first downs. I mean, we've said it. Justin Fields isn't the issue here. They have no offensive line, and they have no run game with that offensive line, but you're wanting to blame everything on Justin Fields. And also, you have one of the best running quarterbacks in the NFL. Make some more design run plays instead of making him try to find stuff when he's scrambling. But making Fields throw the ball 40 times in the game is not how you win that game, especially against the Browns pass rush, which is arguably the best pass rush in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with him. Justin Fields isn't a guy who you ever want to have drop back and make him throw 40 times a game, right? He's a guy who maybe you have him pass 20 to 25 to 30 times, but you have him run another 10. Like, you don't need him throwing 40 times a game. You need to be able to have a run game there for him to kind of sit back on, and then him to have his own run game on that as well. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Justin Fields is the issue over there. I think he needs a little more O-line help. And yeah, I mean, they need a star, solid running back, which is what they're also missing as well. Get him another receiver. I think they're sitting at picks 1 and 5 currently in the draft. So see what you can do with that. I mean, again, I know we touched base on it. I think you trade out of that one spot and see what you can gather up and move down to, because, get Marvin Harrison, if you're looking at it that way, best player you can find. But see how that all prevails. But yeah, it's tough. Like you said, that's 3 games difference between 8 and 6, and now you're at the 6th seed in the playoffs. And I feel like, that's what Chicago's shooting for right now, is just to go on the up and up, right? It's like they want to be on the upside. So it's like, yeah, you got to get those pieces together, because you guys shot yourself in the foot at missing your opportunity at the playoffs this year.
Man, Christian calling everyone that they shot themselves in the foot here.
Full on Plaxico.
I know. Full on. You know, the mistake that they made was getting rid of Montgomery, man. They never utilized him correctly. And I think if they had Montgomery there right now, I think you're looking at a different team, a more balanced team. You can run some screens too. You can run the ball. Like I think they really screwed up. And I think that's hurting them. Do I think they need another wide receiver? Absolutely. But Komet and DJ Moore are doing their job there, and they're getting the job done. And I feel like Justin Fields is having a good season. He had a couple of rough games, but I mean, some of the throws I've been seeing him make, like that one throw when he rolled out and just threw an absolute laser in the end zone to Komet, was incredible. I mean, you can't get rid of him. There's no way. As a Bear, anyone that's a Bears fan that thinks that he should be gone, you obviously don't know football because it's not him. It's not him right now. You gotta help him out, get him alignment. But yeah, give credit where credit's due. Joe Flacco came back, threw for over 300 yards, brought that team back.
375, dude. He threw for 375 yards.
Yeah, and the Browns are starting to cook. They're starting to look good. They are getting hot at the right time. They are. They're going to give anyone a run for their money in the postseason, even if they have a wild card spot. It's sad to see that. It seems to me that they're better with Joe Flacco than they are with Deshaun Watson.
I mean, they have looked better. Now, he did throw 3 picks yesterday. I mean, it wasn't like he had a perfect game. I think he threw 3. He threw touchdowns, 3 picks yesterday. What the heck? Oh, Christian, what's going on? Christian's having a party over there. But the Browns D is just that good. I mean, arguably, they gave up 17 points. 7 was a pick 6 thrown by Joe Flacco, so that's only 10. And then the other 7 was off of another pick that ended up starting the Bears at the 1-yard line. And it took them 4 plays to score a touchdown on that. So, I mean, you really only blame them for 1 field goal. I mean, that defense is amazing, but if they want to continue to go forward, Flacco's going to have to limit turnovers. But 375 in the air and 2 touchdowns with those 3 picks, something you live with when you're the Browns.
Absolutely. As a backup quarterback.
My hot take of the week was a QB throws for 400 or more.
Mayo.
That's so gross. That's so gross, but you have to do it, Christian.
No, Nick, I told you if you wouldn't do it, I won't do it.
I love mayonnaise. So
I would do it if I had to do it. I would do it, but I hate mayonnaise, and it's just a spoonful.
I said 2 shots.
Okay. Next time.
2 shots.
Next time you're better the week. You're doing it.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is, man. We have to do it. All right, guys. I mean, might as well. I guess we'll talk about the Bengals real quick, like super quick, because we have to be quick. They look okay. They look like they can get the job done.
Browning. He's 3-1 to start off with. He's 7 touchdowns, 3 picks. He has a 74% completion percentage, 107 QBR right now. He seems to be using his weapons right. Is this a testament to the team? The coach is strategizing well, or is Joe Burrow maybe a little overrated? Maybe we can throw it in there, but they played a decent Vikings team. I'm just saying he's 3-1 against some pretty decent teams right now.
Yikes! I don't think I'm there yet. Because you gotta think Joe Burrow was hurt when he was playing. I'm not there yet. It was a good game. It's actually, I think at first it was the most boring game on Saturday, but the fourth quarter made that game probably the most fun game to watch.
Yeah, now since he sees himself, they are now a game back at the 5th seed or 6th seed right now, and they're in the playoffs with a backup.
Yeah. So we'll just be super quick here. I want to talk about it.
I agree, Christian.
How about those Cowgirls?
Christian?
Yeah. Interesting game over there, man. Loved every second of that one. What was it? 31-10 was the final there.
Yeah, with a garbage time touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James Cook, shout out Jew, man. Over 200 yards on the ground, 2 total touchdowns on the night. Can't plan it better. Just had a great game. Absolutely annihilated that Dallas defense. Josh Allen, he even came outside after the game. He was like, I felt like the kid in class who just didn't do anything for the school project and still got an A. He had like 94 passing yards and a passing touchdown. did his job, did what he had to do, played more of a game manager role there, but they get the job done in a great way, against a good Dallas team. So that's going to be momentum for the Bills heading forward. And hopefully, for our sake, that's backwards momentum for Dallas, and it's going to start their downfall. But, we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, it was a good game out of Buffalo. Definitely not what I was expecting, but I'll take it. I love it.
And you know what? I think it's a testament to what we've been saying all year is the Bills need to get the pressure off of Josh Allen, make sure other people can make plays. And that's exactly what they did against the Cowboys last night, is you're not making Josh Allen have to throw the ball so much. He had 0 turnovers the first time since I forget when, like week 4, week 5, that he hasn't had a turnover in a game. And you see where it leads them. The defense did their job. They got They had a good Cowboys team off the field. They had 11 more minutes of time of possession. They ran the ball down Dallas's throat. And like you said, great momentum. Buffalo really needs to win out to get a playoff spot. This helps the Eagles. And now the Dallas Cowboys start off a stretch where they have one loss to the Bills. They play Miami fresh off a 30-0 win against the Jets. And then they go up and play the Lions, who just won 42-17 against the Broncos. Lucky for Dallas, the next 2 games are AFC opponents, which doesn't really hurt them when it comes to tiebreakers, but obviously losing those games hurts them when it comes to seeding.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. I gotta say, if I have to pick a guy that's probably my offensive player of the month, it's gonna be James Cook. They started relying on him and started more of a balanced offense, and look what they're actually doing now, right? So James Cook has been putting up great stats the last month here, and now that they don't have to rely, now it seems like they don't feel like they have to rely solely on Josh Allen, and they can rely on a run game, right? You saw it last night; they were able to do it. James Cook absolutely destroyed everyone. So it was fun to watch. I had a feeling it was not going to be close. I didn't think Dallas had a shot, just because Buffalo wanted it more. To be fair, the team we should have beat Dallas last week. Those turnovers are the reason why the Eagles lost. So, Buffalo just looked way better. And I hope people are taking notes on how to beat them, because I'm telling you, they absolutely destroyed them in the trenches. They just absolutely owned them on both sides. It wasn't just on offense. It was on both sides. So hopefully this starts, like you guys said, downfall of Dallas. So I guess we'll talk about tonight's game.
Yeah. It's got to be a big one tonight from the Birds, I would say, right? We touched base on it a little bit earlier, I think on Friday, that I know for me, a win isn't satisfying enough here tonight. It's got to be a convincing win. It's got to be a good win. I feel like we all, we have issues at cornerback tonight, injury wise. So DK Metcalf is probably going to get his, and that's okay. You figure he's going to get his. But he's always going to get his. You got to contain it and you got to limit it, right? You got to be able to just, we're going in with Patricia here tonight, running plays and calling the plays on the defensive side of the ball, which was just announced as of today, I believe. So, it's gonna be a little bit of a different look. Hopefully we see a little more pressure. Hopefully we get to the quarterback a lot more. I know Gino's already dealing with a groin injury, so that could play a factor in it as well. Hopefully allowing, taking away any mobility that he has. But you just got to, I don't know, man. I feel like you got to come in and win in convincing fashion tonight. You're in the last stretch of your final 4 games. You're not playing amazingly tough opponents. This is by far the toughest opponent you're going to have out of these last 4 games. You have to look good tonight. You have to get together. You have to make it all click right here before playoff starts.
Yeah, big thing is you got to take advantage of what the Bills just did to Dallas. Now, with the win, you're up a game again. They had to play a really hard end of the year schedule. You get a little bit easier, though the Cardinals have been looking decent, and the Giants, we're still out on them, whether or not they're good or not. It's going to come down to whether or not we can get pressure on Geno Smith. He is hurt. He's not going to be able to get around if he has a groin injury. You got to get him pressure because we have that injury to the corner Slays out. We need to also make sure DK isn't just running deep all night and getting jump balls. We do not have a corner that can get away with that can, go against these physical guys. My best option is Bradbury. He's more used to those physical receivers. He's more of a physical receiver type guy. But DK is just another animal. DK is AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to see those 2 guys go at it all night. You're going to have to limit that. You're going to have to get the run game going early. And that's one thing we haven't seen with them for a long time, whether they don't choose to or they don't want to. They're just not getting the run game early. And with Jalen Hurts playing through illness, he's 75% right now, but he's playing. you're going to have to get that run game early. It's going to have to be in the trenches. And with Cam Jurgens out, we're going to have to see what happens there.
But here, this is what I'm going to say. Normally, this would be an advantage for Seattle, but it's raining and it's cold. And we've seen what our team's done in the rain and cold and terrible red weather. And it is going to come down to the trenches. And here's the thing with Matt Patricia, right? He knows he has to come out and fire on all cylinders, right? He's on the hot seat with Eagles fans. He has to build confidence with Eagles fans and the Eagles organization. And because you're without Darius Slay, don't be surprised if you see a lot of blitz packages tonight, because they're going to have to do something to make them get the ball out early. And here's what I'll say, because I'm watching on the TV right now. Geno Smith is not taking first team snaps right now as warm-ups, and I saw that they're still undecided on who's playing. So that could play a factor into it too. It's going to be a good game, but I'll take 75% Jalen Hurts over most quarterbacks in the league, to be honest.
Yeah. And I know we're in a time crunch. Do you just want to go straight into certified baller?
Yeah, we can do that.
We can jump into it real quick. It's probably be my last segment. I gotta get inside. But my certified baller of the week, it's tough. James Cook, shout out. You're gonna be my honorable mention. You had a great week, but I gotta give it to Christian McCaffrey, man. Just had an absolute great week over there for the Niners. I think it was over 180 total yards, went over 100 on the ground, went for another like 60 or 75 in the air, 3 total touchdowns, really showing that he's kind of like the heart and soul of that 49ers offense. So yeah, he's got to be my certified baller of the week.
Yeah, I mean, Baker was one guy I want to put up there. He went for 384 touchdowns, a perfect QBR. Dolphins defense did its job, helped the Jets to 4 total yards in the first half. But I'm going to go with Keegan Murray from the Sacramento Kings. Saturday, he had 47 points with 8 boards. He had 12 3-pointers, 12 for 15. He is now the Kings' all-time 3-point record and tied for 5th most in a single game, only behind Clay, Lillard, Levine, and Curry, who are tied for 2nd. For a guy who averages 15.5 a game, and even after this performance, he's only averaging 35 from 3. What a game. 2-second-year player, and that's a good confidence booster for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I love that. So, I mean, my certified baller, I mean, you already said it with your honorable mention. Mine's James Cook, just because you absolutely torched Dallas this week by yourself. And I love seeing that. So, mine is definitely James Cook. So, we can just do deflated baller real quick. I can tell you mine right now. And I can't think of his name, but it is that Steelers defensive back that absolutely annihilated Michael Pittman, and he is now suspended. It was the worst hit I've ever seen in my entire life, and I have to give him my deflated baller. You knew what you were doing, and he has to be on there.
I don't know. I mean, part of me thinks, and to be devil's advocate, part of me thinks that Minshew threw that ball in the bad spot. I would say it's really hard for defender. He probably shouldn't have headhunted, but that was a bad thrown ball, really short. And I think the defender may have been making a play the ball. I don't think it was super intentional to injure Pittman. I think the quarterbacks need to take some accountability. But my deflated baller is just going to be the Jaguars. I mean, it's atrocious to squander 4 straight possessions where you should be putting points on the board. You walk away with 0. You should have had a halftime lead, but instead you're 0 against the best team in the AFC. You're not going to win games. That's not going to win divisions, and it's not going to win playoffs.
Could have been 12-10 going into half. That's nuts.
My deflated baller of the week is going to be none other than Roger Goodell. I don't know who the you think you are, kicking Big Dom off the sidelines for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah.
Douche move, in my opinion. Bro was doing a job. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Nobody likes Goodell. That's why we boo him every year at the draft. Guy's a bum. No one likes him. He's making football shit. So
a lot of bleeps in there.
What a terrible thing. Dom, he didn't do anything. I don't understand that. He was doing something. He was doing his job.
Well, he separated 2 guys that were fighting on the sideline. And that's all he did.
Oh, no. So he did his job.
Yeah.
Stupid. Absolutely dumb. But yeah, I mean, as always, guys, I'm going to see you later on. Enjoy the game.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Chargers.
All right. All right, let's go Birds. See you guys later on.
Yeah. What?
Wow. All right. Dude. All right. See you guys later.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to end it here. I'm going to go with my bet of the week while they're gone. I think by the end of the week, the Reds will trade Jonathan India to the Blue Jays. The Reds are always big sellers when it comes to talents, and the Jays need help at second. I think after missing out on Ohtani, they'll be looking to get some sort of a good player out of the offseason. I think Cincy would be willing to give up India, as they have in the past with their good players, to get some sort of draft. Maybe they get Biggio out of it. I think they may end up giving up India. And then I'm going to update you guys on a little thing right now. I kind of wanted to talk to them about it. But as of right now, the MVP race, you have Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and Josh Allen, and you don't have Christian McCaffrey and the betting odds until 6. I mean, only 2 non-QBs out of 10. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous right now. This is what's wrong with the MVP race, truly. You had Tyreek, who was on pace for the best receiving season at all, and he's only at 10. I mean, he's less than 500 yards away from 2,000, and we have him only at 10. Then you have, Raheem Mostert, and no one wants to talk about him. He's not even in the top 20 right now. He has 20 total touchdowns, over 1,000 yards from scrimmage, and we're not talking about him at all. And then obviously the one who I think should be MVP is Christian McCaffrey right now. We understand that, yes, maybe it's the best QB award, but when you see what McCaffrey's doing right now, he's leading the league in rushing with about 1,300 yards right now. He has 13 rushing touchdowns, but then he adds 509 and 7 touchdowns through the air. I mean, listen, I understand best QB award. They have Brock Purdy there. But Brock Purdy, I mean, he has CMC, he has Debo, he has Kittle, he has Ayuk to add. He has a top 3 offensive line. I mean, I think if he was to prove he was the MVP, it was those 3 weeks when Debo was out. He didn't prove it. He went over 3 touchdowns and 5 picks in those 3 weeks. Outside of that, the 3 weeks Debo was gone, 24 touchdowns, 2 picks. So tell me who's making the team better here, because I just don't think it's Purdy. I think a lot of the times you can put in a good quarterback like a Garoppolo. I think this offense for the Niners really, really helps quarterbacks just be game managers and look good doing it. Now, he makes some incredible plays. I don't want to sit there and say, no, he is a bad player, because he makes incredible plays. He fits that system well. But at the end of the day, if I'm saying, oh, I'm taking away Brock Purdy off the team and putting in somebody else, would you be more scared? Or would you be more scared if I said, okay, I'm taking off Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey off the team and putting in somebody else? And I feel like most of the time, people will be like, the biggest hit for the team would be McCaffrey out over Purdy. Nothing against Purdy. I think he's a great player. I just think when it comes to MVP, we need to stop making a QB award and give it to the person who is the most valuable person on that team. And I think when you have over 500 yards receiving, about 1,300 on the ground, I think that makes you most valuable, especially on that team. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching the end of this. I'm interested to see what you guys think in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I hope you have a good week. We'll get back to you on Friday. Deuces.
Yo, listen up, let me introduce to you the Highlight Taken podcast. We bring the heat, is true. Hosted by David, Nick, and Christian, that's a crew. They drop knowledge and hot takes at the sports IQ. We dive into the game from hoops to gridiron, analyzing every play like we was the champion. With witty banter and humor, we keep it fun. HTP fam, we always bring the number 1. Highlight Taken podcast, we taking over the scene. We drop dubs and chugs, living the sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the hype, we not just blowing steam.